One of the biggest problems I had when I was starting my fitness journey was that no matter how hard I tried, my arms never really seemed to grow. And especially my wrists, is that I could always wrap my fingers like this around my wrist. Of course, that's not really the case now. Or when I flex my arms, literally nothing would change. And the longer I did this and the longer I went into building an online coaching business and my YouTube and my Instagram, is that I kept speaking to people that suffered from the same problem that not many people were talking about, which was having skinny arms and not knowing how to fix it. And this comes down to a number of reasons, which I'm going to get into in the video, but it isn't really addressed because many people say that it just grows naturally with the rest of your physique, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's exactly what this video is going to be about. Just to be clear, before we dive in, I like to have these videos a little bit more of a riff with very minimal editing, and I like to just go off the flow. So it's kind of like a background type podcast episode. So if you're not a fan of that, you can click off, but it's something you can listen to in the car when you're cooking. This is literally all my notes I have for the video. So if I stutter, if I go off track, it doesn't get edited out, because I feel like it's easier for me to communicate my thoughts to you, and it reduces a lot more cognitive load for you as well. Because if I've got a massive script of fancy words and fancy writing, then it just tends to be a terrible video for me. And I don't make these videos to get views. I make these videos to actually help the people that watch them. So let's dive in. Let me drop this. Why you're probably here is because you have what is called the skinny fat physique. You have small arms in perspective to the rest of your body. Basically is the main term for that, because you would not have quote unquote skinny arms or small arms if you were skinny or lean, because you would see the muscle definition in your arm, but your arm is more of just like a skinny blob. So you're in between kind of the not much definition in your biceps or triceps, but you also don't have fat in your arms to make them have that size or even have them pop. And what skinny fat is one, basically that's like the main topic of kind of who I help if you're interested. And if you're interested in a free resource as well that helps cure skinny fat over the next 50 days by getting an email every single day, you can get that link in the description. But it is basically high body fat percentage and low muscle mass. And the reason you're skinny fat is not because of your body fat, is because of the lack of muscle mass you have. So the reason why your arms are lacking, if you've not started the gym or if you have started the gym and your arms are still skinny as what you feel like they are, then it is because you have not grown enough muscle in your arms. Simple as that. The reason why I'm talking about this and why I coach skinny fat men in particular is because it doesn't seem as a problem to a lot of people. And the main problem is because so many people promote the same splits. They will promote the push-pull legs, and you'll probably do one of these splits, an upper-lower split, a full body split. And the thing is with all these different splits, especially if you do one of them or if you haven't trained, is that they neglect your arms quite a bit. And that is exactly why this becomes a problem, especially when all the rest of your body starts to grow in terms of like your chest, your belly starts to shrink, your waistline, you're eating healthier, but your arms don't change, is because you do stuff like triceps at the end of your push day. So let's say you absolutely smash out chest 4 or 5 different exercises, and then you do 1 or 2 for triceps and you sack it off. No wonder your arms aren't growing, is because you're just throwing them at the end of the workout, not dedicating actual time and effort when they are fresh, when they are most fresh, because they're not going to grow if they've already been smashed out. So the easiest fix, like I said in the title, is going to be just adding in an arm day to your routine. So I know it's tough, and I know I don't promote bro splits at all, which if you do a bro split, then you do arms on a completely separate day. You do biceps and triceps. Cool. But what I'm saying is that you do push-pull legs, and if you can get in that 4th routine, that 4th separate day, literally just train arms And if you feel like that's not enough, throw in some abs as well, because it will be a game changer. If you just add in an extra session where you're training your arms, where they're going to be the most fresh, you will be so surprised of how much weight you can actually lift. Like step by step, you will feel the difference in definition, the difference in stimulus in your bicep curl. Instead of after doing crazy amount of pull movements where your grip and your forearms are now dead from pull-ups or assisted pull-ups or lat pull downs or anything like that, then you go into bicep curls where you're picking up dumbbells with no straps, you will just end up dropping the dumbbells because your grip is losing. Imagine going into like imagine going into a session and instantly hitting bicep curls. Like, imagine how much you could curl. You can probably think in your head, you would probably curl a lot more than you do now. And by doing that, you can instantly get the stimulus, and also it's not fatiguing on your body. It's not like training chest, back, legs, because arms is different. It's painful when you train them, but it doesn't take energy out of you to train them. Like, it's easy to recover from as well, which I feel like that's exactly why a lot more people should do it. Which I do talk about that in the 50-day email sequence, like I said, in the description. All you have to do is give me your email and you can get sent 50 different ways to cure skinny fat. And also you can get in contact with me and get basically, not get in contact with me, but you can then be added to the inner circle where whenever I have an update, you can get it sent straight away and you're the first to know, especially if you feel like this is an issue that you need help with. Now, although this is good at adding in an arm day, it will change a lot for you and it will be the biggest difference. But number two is that you will have to adjust. If you add in an arm day and you're not getting stronger over a certain amount of time, then you probably have to adjust kind of what you are eating as well. Because if you are not getting stronger or if you're not progressively overloading, you're probably not going to be eating enough. Which the key for that is to be eating at maintenance, especially if you're a skinny fat guy within your first year, 2 years of lifting. You need to probably be eating at maintenance, or if you are on the heavier side, in a calorie deficit, if you are on more of the overweight side. But this is more for the guys that are not underweight, but in the middle of BMI, body mass index, so maybe like in a healthy BMI range, 18 to 25, but they don't like the look of how their physique is actually shaped. So yeah, calorie maintenance, which if you don't know how to do that, is also in the 50-day email. So I think in day 2 or 3, you get the TDEE calculator, which that helps you calculate your maintenance calories, how much protein you need, how much carbs, fats, all that good stuff. And if you eat at that, because the chances are you're probably eating like you did when you were maybe 15 or 16, you don't have, your diet maybe hasn't matured from when you were younger, which is, I know, like I'm the exact same. I used to be eating like Weetabix cereal when I was a grown man, and yeah, realistically, you're not getting the nutrients you need, and your body's not going to get the things to function. Like, you can train as hard as you want, but if you're not eating right or eating the amount of food your body should have to maintain its weight, it's going to be a lot more difficult to give it. You're giving the body the resources to actually change your physique, which is one of the biggest changes. So by adjusting, tracking your workouts, making sure that you are getting stronger week from week, especially on your bicep curl, and also making sure that you're doing unilateral movements. What is unilateral movements? Movements that require basically doing one at a time, or if you're lifting the weights, you're lifting the weights separately in each hand. Instead of doing a bicep curl on the cable, where you have one weight and you're curling with both your arms, instead have dumbbells. So you have 12 kg in this hand, 12 kg in this hand. Then you'll realize if there's any muscle imbalances there, because you'll start to get a little bit closer to failure, and maybe your left arm starts to slack a bit, and you realize that your left needs to get stronger, which is natural for a lot of guys, surprisingly. But yeah, I'm not going to go into why. Especially a lot of new people I start to work with, they always say the same thing. But then finally is once you start to track and understand that you're getting stronger week from week, you need to review. In terms of seeing progress are you making progress in the mirror? Because realistically, if your arms are growing, you're not going to see that in the scale. You're not going to see, by going up in the scale, that does not mean your arms are getting bigger. By going down on the scale, doesn't mean your arms are getting smaller. You have to take progress pictures in the same light every single day. My recommendation is, as soon as you wake up in the morning, before you hop in the shower in the morning, just take a photo, same position, same this, and you can even do a similar pose as long as you do that same pose the next day and the next day. You could go bicep flex, you could do like whatever you want, as long as you do that same flex in the same position, because then you can actively see if your arms are getting bigger from when you started. And then one day, 3 months in advance, you'll see your first photo, your second photo, and you're like, what a crazy transformation. And that's the goal that we're trying to achieve. But in conclusions, skinny arms has a very easy fix. You just don't know it yet, but now you do. And if this video is helpful, you can get even more fixes to your problems with the free resource link in the description. Like I said, it's free. Like, nothing to give out except your email, so I can contact you in the future of anything that I have to update you on and be first to know. But if you guys enjoyed this one, you know what to do. And remember to take your creatine if you have not already today. Peace.